Hey there. I'm going to go over a little bit about the defining range, the quarterly theory defining range that appeared this week. So, in quarterly theory, whenever you have a Q1, you can make the defining range. If you haven't seen that, I will link the original defining range video where I discussed how to create the defining range and how to place your targets and how to measure what the defining range is and what the fibs are. I'll link that video down below. Now, I want to show you kind of how it played out this week. Now, Monday started and it was very bullish. So on my X, I posted, now that Monday's behind us, Q1, right? So in quarterly theory, Monday is Q1. You take the entire trading day, you take the last 2/3 of it, and fib anchor off of the top and bottom of the price action. So I said, now that Monday's behind us, where are we headed? NQ to 25,300 or NQ to 24,460 for the bearish targets. So I said, as you can see, we're currently already above the September month's target, which was at 24,750. You can see it here. So we are within, so Monday's price action was already within the month's target. And typically what you'll see is a resistance or potentially magnetic price action if it goes above. Now, so I asked that question. Now I posted the gold targets as well. Now a lot of people were bullish. Monday was extremely bullish and it got above the prior week's high. Let me show you that. So here's Monday's price action. Here's the prior week's high. So within the New York session and then extending into the PM session, we were very bullish and closed near highs. Now that's initially everyone's going to be bullish and swing swing calls off of that. Now I can show you an example of what I responded to somebody. Let me get you that. So I responded to somebody. Let me see my replies. Okay, so I had a reply that someone was saying, hopefully I can find it. But anyway, so typically what I'll see, I couldn't find it, but someone replied saying, is bullishness guaranteed? And I said, because we got above the, or we pumped so high above the prior week's high on a Monday, it seems suspicious to me. So let's continue to see like how price played out after we established the defining range. Now, as of this point, the defining range for the week is either you get bullish price action that takes you here to the 25,000, or you get bearish price action that can target down here at 24,470s. So let's just move forward and see kind of how we went. This is the 1 hour chart. So overnight it stayed steady and then we kind of dipped. Tuesday was bearish. Tuesday I thought it would hold up. There was a good 1 hour PSP candle that I thought price would hold. Maybe that was Tuesday or Wednesday, I'm not sure. But I believe we ended up retracing about the 50% mark and then went back down. So let's keep watching. Yeah, we came up about 50% of this leg and then it became resistance for the next leg down. Similarly, same thing happened here. It got to about here and then became the next leg down. And here, all the while, this is our target here, the defining range. So if you have the right direction, if you know the direction for some reason, when you come into the week, this can be great targets for take profits, or if you're bullish and you're on the right direction, you can do your take profits up there if you're swing trading. So let's carry on. Let's get until we get into today's price action, which would be about here. And then I'm going to get go more fine-tuned and show you a smaller time frame. Okay, so here we are, 5 a.m. overnight. Now let's move on to the intraday price action. So intraday price action, we develop a intraday defining range. This would be the bullish target and this would be the bearish target. Now overnight we dipped pretty good below the lowest bullish target And typically what you'll see is that it becomes magnetic. Either this will be the low, or if we extend below it, it'll come back up and tag it, and you're going to see that happen. So basically, we were very bearish overnight. So you'll see that the defining range sometimes on a confirmed bearish day, it can be resistance. As you can see, we have coming into the defining range, it can be resistance. Sometimes you'll get hit on both sides, and then the final leg will come down and then be resistance. But let's kind of continue to see how the day played out. So we're getting into some news hours, and let's keep this on watch. Defining range bearish target for the week. And boom. That's where it tagged, and this was the low for the day. It might be the low for the week. We have Friday ahead of us, but potentially this is a low for the week because we did end up creating a bullish daily cycle sequential SMT, and I'll show you that. One second. Now, all right, see how we came back up to test the lower bounds of the range? That's quite normal. So I was saying before, if you have a bullish week or a bullish month and you extend beyond the target, sometimes it will be magnetic and kind of bring you back there. And you're going to see kind of how that played out. This ended up being the high for the New York AM session. Or was that the high for PM session, right before the PM session. Then we made a lower high. And this right here was the daily cycle bullish sequential SMT with, if you compare ES right here, you're going to see the daily cycle bullish sequential SMT. So potentially this could be low for the week. Fridays, as Trader Day has always said, Fridays, the whole purpose of a Friday is to kind of bring price back into the range. We already extended to the lowest or the lowest bearish target. We could go beyond it, but I do see this as a potential bottom for the week going into Friday. Once we hit targets, I'm kind of hands off unless I see some really good bullish candles. So most likely for me, this would mean I'm not going to be trading tomorrow since targets already were reached, and price tends to just either reverse or be choppy for the remainder of the week. And so that is the defining range. Now let me show you the defining range. That was NQ, for example. Now let's go look at SOL. So this is crypto futures SOL. Now this one, I was expecting it to hit the defining range low, and it did end up happening. And so defining range, I always keep it on watch, and I'll kind of show you where I was kind of proposing that. So I'll keep it on watch to know where my targets are and to see whether we are going to be bearish or bullish and what the targets might be. So here's SOL finally got to, or SOL finally got to the bearish target. And up here, I was kind of proposing the idea on September 22nd. I said, I think SOL is on its way to the negative month and week's target. It's already blasted the month's bullish target this last week. It might hit the other side now. So we were in the defining range, and then it ended up hitting. So that ended up happening, and we are pretty close to the month defining range too. So the calendar month for the bearish target for SOL is down here under, I guess it would be, I'm not sure. I guess I might be on the wrong ticker here. Well, you're going to see on SOL futures, you're going to see that it got the week's target and it's pretty close to the month's target down at 187, which could happen. It hit basically both sides. So if you we hit the month's target for SOL in the 230s, and last week's target was probably blown out of the water, but I don't see that right now unless we come back here. If we can do a replay for last week. Yeah, so last week it blew it out of the water. It was here at 230s. If we carry on, we hit our month's target. Basically, at that point, it's like, hey, to start taking profit if you were on the right direction of the trade and you hit the month's target. So it looks like it bounced off of the month's target and then eventually went above it. And right there, it hit last week's bullish target. So it hit the month, hit the week, and basically, take profit, take the rest of the month off if you are in the right direction of the trade. But it ended up happening is that now it is hitting the lower target so for the month. So basically hitting both sides, which is rare, but it happens. Maybe like in a manipulation quarter, or September could be a manipulation month. So keep that in mind. Maybe October, maybe who knows what we see. Maybe it's more of a distribution. Which direction? We don't know. Hopefully to the upside. I'm swinging some Sol. So I appreciate you watching. If you have any questions about the defining range, hit me up in the comment section, or you can find me on X. You can find me at GGX Trades. You can join me in the Discord. And, I wouldn't be here at all, without God's help. So I just want to give a big shout out to God.